dealer told me $30,000 for a pair of disc pads. I said, no thank you, good sir. So this is Blueprint, like I said, guys, and this is owned by Bilstein. This is the part of it that I hate the most. There's nothing to catch you. Alright guys, so I'm going to be picking up disc pads for my 2022 Suzuki Jimny. I serviced it in March and the mechanic said, you know Paul, I don't know what your driving habits are like, but based on what I'm seeing, I think you're going to need to change your disc pads in the next couple of months. So I said, alright, cool, no problem. So I decided to ask around, call the dealer. Dealer told me $30,000 for a pair of disc pads. I said, no thank you, good sir, and I moved along. I called a couple of local part suppliers. Some didn't have any, as in they don't stock for the Jimny, and the ones that did stock for the Jimny, some of them didn't have any. One of them had, and that price was ridiculously low. It was about like $4,000 or $5,000, and I think for a component that is as critical for stopping your vehicle, and then when you look at the median price, then I did not feel comfortable spending $5,000 when everything else is roughly $15,000, right? So I said no thank you to that. And then another part supplier, they said something around the lines of 20 to 22,000, and I said, all right, cool, let me see if I can get a better deal. And then I remember that Bilstein has a subsidiary. They have a couple of groups under their brand umbrella, and one of them is called Blueprint. So I did some digging and I realized that Blueprint is manufactured in the EU, and what that means is that Blueprint has to adhere to very strict manufacturing laws, and it means like the brake has to be no better than 15% of the OE brakes, but no worse than 15%. So I said, okay, I have specs there that I can work with. And when I looked on eBay, I saw that they were worth, I think it's 80 USD. So I think landed, when you ship it to Jamaica, I should pay about $15,000, which you look at that median price, I think that's fine. So what I'm gonna do later on in this video, or when I get home, you're gonna see an unboxing. I'm gonna give you the details about the EU law that Blueprint has to follow, which is one of the reasons why I went with them, because even though it's aftermarket, it's regulated, it's made by a reputable brand, and I'll give you the lowdown on all of that. And I'll also put a link to the website that I use to kind of give me a cross-reference on the different aftermarket brands that I could use. So yeah, I will fast forward you guys to future me, right? Alright guys, so we are back. So these are the disc pads. They're called Blueprint, or they're from the company Blueprint. This is what this looks like. This is what your package would look like. Here you can see the 1.5 for 1.5 Jimny, and let me see if I can find the code for you. Right, this is where it shows you that it matches with the original part code. So let's open this up, see what's in the box. And while we do the opening up, Blueprint has been around for 25 years. No, actually 30 years. And they are a subsidiary of Bilstein. So I believe, based on that fact, the quality should be top notch. So just cut this right here and put it down so I don't cut myself. There we go, finally. So you get this little pamphlet right here, important technical information. I won't be putting it on, so matters not to me. This is what it looks like. Just tap the camera just so I can see myself. There we go. So these should do the trick. Tomorrow I will show you guys the comparison between how much, meat are on these versus on my regular car on the original brake pads. Alright, so looking at my trusty notepad, Blueprint has to adhere to something called the UN ECE 90 regulation, which means whether it's their clutches, whether it's their brakes, whether it's their filters, that material or that whole system has to fall within 15% plus or minus of the original equipment. So that's something that made me really go, you know what, maybe I should look into this, because you could just buy regular aftermarket stuff and not know the quality. So tomorrow, gonna go to the shop, I'm gonna vlog how it gets installed and then compare the brakes that I have on now with these. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. So we're going to turn onto Halfway Tree Road, just past the Zuzu, and then we're going to make the left turn right by Tropical Battery here onto what is called Grove Road. And then we're just going to drive straight down to the end of the road, as you'll see, and we're going to keep right. It will make sense when we get to the intersection. Right here, we keep right. You have to give way. And we'll keep going down. This is still Grove Road, and we're gonna make the right turn at Radiator Services, which is 24 Grove Road. He shares this space with Radiator Services, and it's at the back of the compound. Alright guys, today we're going to do the changing of the disc pads for the 2022 Suzuki Jimny, and we have the man himself, Andre.
Morning peeps, at St.Orbin Auto Repairs. It's at 24 Grove Road, our locations. So open from Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 5 o'clock, where we do work on all makes and model of vehicle. So this morning, as Paul says, we're going to do the disc pad on the Jimny. So you can join us for the journey as we move along. It's a tool of choice, Milwaukee and Barco tool. Impact drill. 19 socket or 3/4. So we're going to use a 12mm socket with a 3/8 ratchet handle to pull the brake caliper bolts. As you can see, gear wrench is the brand preferred tool for me most of the times. Flex head. So this is a 12mm bolt. As I see it have some rust, so we'll just clean that and then grease it.
Alright, so this is what the pads look like. It's more wear on one side, it seems. Way more wear on one side.
So this is a sliding pins for the calipers. Then clean them, re-grease them so that the caliper can slide back and forth with these and not wear the disc pads uneven. So this is the brake fluid reservoir before we start to service or press in back the brake calipers. We normally crack these and just leave it like that. And then we'll go here. Tool of choice to press in the pistons today is a channel lock. Channel lock pliers. Otherwise, you have a brake tool, you have a G clamp. You know. Right, brand this pad for today.
Blueprint. Wait till the truck pass. So this is Blueprint, like I said, guys, and this is owned by Bilstein. So it should be good quality. Should be within, it's plus or minus 15% of the OEM brakes, so should get some good life out of them. I've had these on for 3 years, so we'll see how long these last.
Remove all of the old disc pads. This is what they look like after 3 years.
So what you'd say about that, based on the wear pattern and all of that?
So it have a good wear pattern. Look like a good quality disc pads.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's just test out
These by Blueprint.
and see how long they serve.
Oh, these look nice. These are nice.
They come with the backing plates and that right here.
So what's the importance of the backing plate?
Quality look good. So if you don't have this in the car,
Right.
the brake the caliper
Yeah.
will just be pressing on the disc pads,
Right.
the metal of the disc pads alone. So this kind of compensate for some of the space
Okay.
as well. And you put on, and by manufacturer, they normally recommend you have this on
Okay.
it. Right. So now we're just going to install new disc pads.
Can I just put one of them beside the old one just for comparison?
Yeah.
Show you what 3 years is worth versus
Brand new.
brand new. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that make a big difference. All right.
Guys, so when you look on this is the outer one for that go outside on the brake caliper. This is the inner one. So this right here is called a warner.
Okay.
So when the disc pads wear down past the recommended specs, you will hear this start to brush on your disc road.
So that's the squealing sound I hear.
Possibility.
Okay.
Yeah. So this one we normally fit it at the back
Okay.
like this. This one at the front like this. This is the right side.
Yeah, done too. Was it normal for one of them to wear faster than the other? Like one side to wear faster than the other?
So sometimes we see that, and I don't think real and truly is a problem that we as mechanics can fix, because this is like from the factory,
Okay.
right? And all of the components for the brake is working properly,
Right.
right? So explanation for that, I would have to like do a research,
Okay.
and we could get back to the wider public on why one side will wear more
Okay.
than one.
All right.
And as we said before, this is the sliding pin.
All right.
So just normally remove them, clean them, and grease them. As I said, for your brake caliper don't stick, can
Okay.
slide properly.
So when you jam the brakes and just push out instant.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what would be the cause for the rust color on the rotor themselves?
I think it's a material
Okay.
with condensation, like night dew,
Yeah.
water, stuff like that.
So after a while, it will just rub off.
Or we can carry it to the machine shop, resurface it to
Okay.
get the rust off, but
Okay.
it will come back after a period of time again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just nature.
Yeah.
So outside of using a G clamp, is there any other way
Yeah, you
to
have
get that out?
to get it in.
To get it, well, yeah.
So, because normally when you press the brake, this come forward.
Okay.
So, during your wear and tear disc pads,
Right.
this will normally come out.
Okay.
It barely retract when you release the brake pedal.
Okay.
Just to keep the disc pad from off the rotor.
Right.
Because if it continue being on that, you'll have an overheating brake.
Okay.
So once this come out and you're going to change a brand new set of disc pads, you can use a channel lock, you can use a G clamp, or you can use the required brake tool.
Okay.
Because there's a specific brake caliper tool for
Okay.
retracting pistons.
Okay. Okay.
You know?
All right.
Yeah.
Let's compare this side with that side. Can just sandwich it like before. Okay, yeah. Done.
So now we can close back the reservoir and then we'll just head inside the car to pump up back the brake.
Okay. It's back at max level too.
Perfect.
All right. All right, so Andre, one last thing. How much does it cost to do a disc pad replacement?
So for this is like 6,000.
Okay.
To do a brake caliper.
Okay. All right. And it only took longer because I was trying to get footage for you guys. Normally, how long does this take?
Well, if the car is cool
Yeah.
and we have no problems
Yeah.
with the caliper bolts or anything like that,
Yeah.
I would say max 20 minutes
Okay. Yeah.
to service properly.
All right.
All right.
So you guys will know where to find him if you need to reach him. And today we're gonna do the last part of the brake test with the Blueprint brakes. And I'm going down a road called Savage Pen Road. There's a sign that says "Take time, turn, or you will tumble down." And the speed limit is 10 kilometers per hour. And that translated just means take your time driving. So I'm gonna be doing, I wouldn't say most of the hill, probably half of the hill in low. Generally going down steep slopes, you do it in low or second. You don't really want to rely on the brakes solely. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do an Insta 360 overlay just to, well, hopefully the overlay works, just to show you guys how steep it really is. This taxi is gonna go down, so yeah, I'm gonna follow it. Have fun. Tap the screen again, make sure I can see what's going on. Yeah, I'm gonna wind on the window so I can hear. Quite steep. You hear the taxi blowing his horn already. That's me in first, or low. These so far feel very similar to the OEM brakes. And as you can see, for most of the way it's single lane. This is the part of it that I hate the most. There's nothing to catch you. But brakes are holding up quite nicely. Speed limit is 10 kilometers. Don't know if you can see it because of the position of the camera. Still in low. Single lane traffic sign starts here, but really and truly I think it should have said single lane from up there. It's also a good place to go if you're buying a car and you want to see if the transmission and the engine are solid. You put it on the load, a good hill to go, but only if you're confident in your driving abilities. Although this is an alternate route for most, because most people take the standard route, which I'll point out on the map. Back into low. Brakes still feel fine. Yeah, they feel fine. Feel about the same as with the original brakes. But this is always something to do to test the transmission. Not really test, but to test a vehicle that you're going to buy. Hopefully the overlay is helping me out and you can truly appreciate how steep this is. Because I have to kind of be guessing. That's how steep it is. And then now I can put it into, I heard a car, but I don't see the car. Oh, I see the car now. Can't come past. So there are small sections where 2 cars can pass, but I wouldn't say small. There are sections where 2 cars can pass, but that's the worst of it. But for guys with 4-wheel drives that don't have open center diffs, please remember, if you want more torque, don't turn on 4-wheel drive, don't put it in 4 low when you're on a sealed surface. If you're in an automatic, put it in 1 or L. If you're in a manual, put it in first gear. And if you have the opportunity to, or the space to, give yourself a little momentum and keep it in first or low. Outside of that, can't really do much. If you use 4-wheel drive on a sealed surface, you run the risk of damaging your axles. Like, you can properly brake them and leave your vehicle immobilized. But so far, brakes feel fine. Quite pleased with them. They feel very similar to the OEM brakes. When you're doing anything like this, always drive with caution. You know, don't drive with any music on because you want to be hearing other vehicles, other horns. Yeah. Although I could do this in drive. Not bad. Not bad at all. Alright guys, that's basically it for this review. The brakes felt very similar to the OEM brakes. I mean, it's subjective, but I've gone down that hill quite a number of times and yeah, it feels very similar. Hopefully the overlay, gave you guys some good insight. I just wanted to make this video so that you guys could have an alternative to your brakes, and an alternative that has to follow some sort of specification. Yes, there are other alternatives from other brands, but one more can't hurt. And I think these are relatively affordable. And Blueprint also sells clutches and oil filters and air filters. Not sponsored by them, but so far I've used the part for it's like 3 weeks now, and it's taken me to some interesting spots. Haven't gone off-roading with that, so that should be interesting, but it's been good so far. So until next time, I'm out.